afternoon. I wanted to take a few moments to let you know that during President Junn's fall address, she'll be using Poll Everywhere so that the audience can engage and answer questions. There are instructions on the screen that you can follow to download the app onto your phone. If you have an iPhone or an iPad, you can go to the App Store and search for Poll Everywhere, and you're going to tap on I didn't get my clicker. If someone can adjust the slides, we're going to get to the instructions for you. Here we are. If you search for Poll Everywhere on the App Store and select the Poll Everywhere app, you'll tap the button that says Get, and then you'll tap the button that says Open. And if you're on an Android phone, the process is very similar. You'll go to the Google Play Store and search for Poll Everywhere, select the Poll Everywhere app, tap Install, and then tap Accept and open the app. So once you have the app downloaded on your mobile device or on your tablet, there are 3 ways that you can participate. The first is using the app. And when you have it open, you'll simply tap on I'm participating, and then enter, under Join a Presentation, you'll enter Pres Junn. And as the poll questions become available, you'll be able to respond. You can also participate via text by texting Pres Junn to the number 22333. And you can also participate online if you have a mobile browser on your phone or your tablet or your laptop, or if you're at home watching the live stream. If you go to pollev.com/presjunn, as the polls become available, you'll be able to respond online in any mobile browser or online browser. So we want to encourage everyone to participate today. If you have any questions about downloading the app, please feel free to ask one of our staff members, and we'd be happy to help you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Wow, and I didn't even have to do shh. Thank you all so much. Welcome to the President's Fall Address. My name is Stephen Filling. I'm here on behalf of the faculty of CSU Stanislaus and the Speaker of the faculty, Kathleen Davis, to welcome you. Dr. Davis is... Okay. Please silence your phones. Or I'm sure one of our public safety folks could help. Dr. Davis is unable to be here today. She's in Oregon, simultaneously watching the solar eclipse and participating in the biggest traffic jam in the state's history. She asked that I share this thought with you. At the start of each school year, we have a chance to implement new ideas in our classrooms and programs and improve practices already in place. You will hear President Junn talk about some of those ideas today, and one will be the concept of growth mindset. Mindset is both an old and new idea, and we will be engaging in conversation around the concept in various ways this year. I encourage everyone, faculty, staff, and students, to find a way into one of those conversations. At the very least, it will give us a common language to talk about teaching and learning, the core mission of our university. On a personal note, I wanted to note that I'm very pleased and proud to be speaking on behalf of Kathleen, especially at this event. You won't find in the slide deck a photo of the Legacy of Hope fundraiser last year, but if you did, one of the things you'd find is a photo of President Junn standing alongside faculty and students serving food to people in pursuit of raising funds for the homeless. Ellen's exhibited an incredible desire both to be a part of the community as well as lead it, and I think is genuinely a community member here. I'm looking forward to hearing what she has to say, and Ellen, thanks for coming and thanks for the boundless energy. We also have a message from the ASI Board of Directors. Brandon, would you come up, please?
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you. On behalf of the ASI Board of Directors, the elected student leaders, we are very excited for what this new year has to bring as we collaboratively work with our faculty leaders as well as President Junn. Our goal is to continue the momentum of strategy, innovation, and forward thinking that she has brought in her first year here. With the new director, some of our goals and initiatives this year consist of things such as expanding our collaboration with the Career Services Department, with the new Director of Career Services being appointed. We're hoping to enhance our relationship with the Career Services Department. We're also looking to expand our Turlock Transit, looking into collaborations with perhaps the city or expanding with making sure we have an extension to Amtrak. Last spring, we saw our Turlock Transit be used over 2,600 times by students, so that was really great for that initiative. We're also hoping to continue our food pantry in collaboration with the Hunger Network, Masters of Social Work, and California Faculty Association to be able to continue to address food insecurity with our students. It's been a great initiative that was started last year, and it's just continued to push forward, so we want to make sure that we're able to continue this initiative. ASI will work closely with the University Student Union Board as our new student center goes into construction this March to make sure we are able to continue the same standard of serving our students. We will have a focus this year on enhancing campus pride and student life on our campus as we form an ad hoc committee to look for strategic methods to enhance our experience our students have at Stan State. We were able to meet with President Junn as she came to our board's retreat and really just brainstorm ideas on how we can collaboratively work to enhance our amazing university and just continue to have this momentum of forward thinking and innovation. I've been able to work with President Junn just recently with my last year on the board of directors, and I'm really looking forward to my relationship, a professional relationship with her as we collaboratively work this next year. We're just really excited to look to the future of our campus and how we can collectively work to enhance our ever-evolving university. We saw a lot of change in leadership this past year, and with this change in leadership comes innovation. With innovation comes change, and with change we can truly reach the type of university and continue to enhance the university that we all are so proud to attend. I'd like to welcome up President Ellen Junn, President of our university.
Is my mic on? Yes? Oh, very good. All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming to the fall address. Very exciting time of the year. And wanted to share with you, I just have an hour's time. And I think, unfortunately, I would like to have a little bit more. Maybe in the spring we'll go to 90 minutes. And the reason for this is that I have to catch a shuttle to get to Fresno to get a plane tonight in order to make the Council of Presidents in Long Beach this evening and for this next Tuesday and Wednesday. So let's, without further ado, just wanted to say welcome back, everyone, although many people were here, obviously, during the whole summer. And summer is over, and so a nice, fun phrase here is time to officially remember what day of the week it is. So today, obviously, is Monday and the start of a new fall semester. All right, so welcome back to school. And what I wanted to cover today in the short 60 minutes or so is a little bit about welcoming and introductions, celebrating our accomplishments, and then talking about some exciting future activities ahead. All right, so first, what I'd like to do before I introduce the newest members of the team, the administrative team, is to have all of our current cabinet members please rise and turn around and wave to everyone. All the current cabinet members, please rise. So here we go. They're an awesome team, and you'll get to hear from them in the January intersession. They'll be able to come up and share with you a little bit about what's going on in every division in the campus. But I wanted to officially recognize some of the newest members who just joined either this spring or some as early as just 2 or 3 weeks ago. So Dr. Rosalie Rush, where's Rosalie? Please stand. Where's Rosalie? Are you in the back? Oh, there she is, waving in the back. She's our new senior. Thank you. Senior Associate Vice President, Communications, Marketing, and Media. And Dr. Dave Evans. Where's Dave? Dr. Evans? He's our new Dean of Science. And then our new Dean of the College of Business Administration is Dr. Tomas Gomez Arias. Where's Dr. Arias? And then new to my office is Sylvia Rodriguez, and she is an alumnus, I have to say. Got her MBA from us. Here's Sylvia. Okay, so as I promised, we're going to use a little bit of audience participation. I think it's nice. Students. So, students, can I just interrupt for 1 minute? May I interrupt for 1 minute? Thank you. I want everyone to know that these are students who are here passionately proclaiming their passion against hate speech and hate activism, and we are all part of that fight as a campus, as a university, and I want to applaud and commend the students for being here, showing up. So I appreciate. So students, I will talk about this in a minute. So I was able to meet with some of the students, I guess it was this morning, and I also met with ASI and USU at their board retreat with their board members on Monday. And so we live in a very turbulent and difficult, challenging time, and this is great that our students are taking part and having a voice, and that's what universities are to do, is to help students gain their voice and understand the difficult situations in this rough and turbulent times in America today. So I applaud you, and can I just ask for a little bit of respect that you can please allow me to continue? And then, but again, I want you to also give applause, because these are students who are taking a stand, and they're taking a very important, passionate stand to voice their opinions. And as an institution, we want to help students achieve that. But we also want to do it in a civil way. And so thank you. We will, as I will talk about in just a moment, is some of the work that we're going to do not only with these students, but all students on campus and also the community to help move the agenda in a productive way. So again, thank you. Thank you for coming here. And so thank you. So can I ask you? Right, but can I ask you to please let me continue, and then we want to figure out other ways for you to continue to give your voices, all right? So, because this is a university address, I would like to let the community know what is going on. So with your respect, I would like to please continue. And please stand here, and please continue to be available for the press and for other members who'd like to continue to talk as I finish up my remarks, okay? So thank you, I really, really appreciate it. So let's go back to this. We're going to do a practice on Poll Everywhere. So get out your phones. So I hope you had a chance to download it, as you saw the instructions earlier. And I want to ask, and I would like you to get out your cell phones. So, students, so let me say, students, can I say, all right, we are all in the same boat together. This is, in fact, so students, all right. If I am going to talk about how we're going to stand, students. Can I ask a question? May I ask a question? Can I ask a question? Can I ask you a question? So, how can we solve this problem? What would you like to do? What would you like to do in terms of this event? This event.
Can we see the poster board, please?
Yes, of course. You can show the poster board. And you, as I said, students have every right to, promote their message. But I also.
From the Student Conduct Code, B7.
So.
Conduct that threatens or endangers the health and safety of any person within or related to the university community, including physical abuse, threats, intimidation, harassment, or sexual misconduct. What's the holdup?
So.
Nathan Domingo's actions.
Thank you.
Follows under all of those things. Yet he
So,
remains on this campus.
I want to.
His actions led to the death of a woman and the injury of several other people.
Thank you.
Both in Berkeley and in
So,
Charlottesville.
thank you
Why
for
are you
sharing.
here?
Thank you for sharing. But remember, this is a special university event, and it is for the entire campus community as well as employees.
The university is here for the students.
Yes, that is right.
The university is here
but
for
can
the
I ask
students.
you? Can I ask you if you could please let me continue with the event today and not disrupt it, because
Can we get an answer on Nathan D'Amigo?
I'm going to explain, but you need to let me get through my slides.
Are you going to
Okay.
explain again to us that you cannot expel him for
Well,
various
all right.
political reasons?
So let me just explain to you that we live in turbulent times, and I'm glad that you are here and that you're concerned. That is a good thing. But we also have to conduct ourselves in a way that allows for understanding all the different complexities of the law. And so this is the thing. We're talking about the law and American government, a judicial system, and what is possible. So let me ask you this. All right, can I ask you, so you guys don't want to let me continue to talk? You want me to disband this entire event? Would that make you satisfied?
What would make us satisfied is to have some real action on the part of the
Well,
university.
I'm going to explain. I'm going to explain that, but you have to give me a chance. And if you keep interrupting me, I won't be able to continue further. And it's great that students are using your voice, and I welcome that. This is a university, but we do need to be able to let me say my side, and then we can continue the conversation, all right? So I'm asking you to please allow this event to continue. I would rather not cancel it at this point in time. Okay, can we do that? Yes? Let's try. Can we try?
What's the consensus?
So,
What's the consensus of the students?
all right. Okay. All right. All right, let me say this. Students, everybody, it doesn't help to further our discussion to be shouting at one another. I understand the reasons why you want to profess, and please, I mean this sincerely. And if we're going to come to an understanding, we need to discuss this together. So I'm asking if you would allow first to hear the story and the rationale and the information, and then we'll continue from there, and we can do that offline as well, okay? All right, so thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, having said that, there's a lot of stuff on this, what I wanted to discuss today, that goes beyond one single issue. It's many things about what the university has achieved and so forth. So I hope that you will give me that opportunity to share the accomplishments of the things that are going on campus. So thank you. So let's go to talk with, see if we can finish this out. All right, so you know how to sign on, right, via vote by virtue of app or by texting or by voting online. So this is how you go text Pres Junn and 222333 for via texting, or you can join the presentation, the poll, ev.com/PresJunn, and then tap join and tap I'm participating, or you can vote online as well. So those are the options. Okay, I know not all of you will be able to do this quickly, but let's see if we can proceed. Okay, so, all right, the question here is, how was your summer break? So some of you already can see this on your phone. So you can say, tap A if it was excellent, B good, neutral, not so good, E very poor, and we can see. And then, let's see, Christina, can we see a head count? Can you display that? Or, because then we can get a sense of how many people are responding. So you can actually see, this is happening in real time. So as you punch in your results, you can see in real time what the audience is saying here. This is just a practice. Okay. All righty. So it looks like the lines aren't moving too much, so maybe we can freeze in a minute. So let's give it another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So Christina, can you close the poll? close the poll. So the good news is the majority, what was it, 81% said you had a pretty good summer. That's great to hear. So that this is good. Hopefully you're rested, relaxed, and ready for a new semester. Okay, so now the next question is who's here? I want to know who is actually in the audience who was able to download the Poll Everywhere app. If you're the older generation, maybe it took a little bit longer, or maybe you deferred from doing that. That's okay. But let's see who's here. So you can text in faculty. Are you a faculty member? Are you a staff member? Are you an administrator, a student, a community member, or other? Okay. So please go ahead and open the poll. Is the poll open? It doesn't look like it's recording. It is? Oh, you're on a different question already. Oh, you guys are fast. Okay, look at this. Oh, wow. It's changing rapidly. Okay. So, Christina, can you see how many people are registered so far? Is there a way to tell?
100.
Oh, there's 100. Okay, there's 100 that have logged in so far. So the vast majority in the room are staff, 20% faculty, 5% students, some community members, and it's changing as we speak. So let's go 5 seconds more. 4, 3, 2, 1, and close the polls. All right. So I wanted to compare how this looked to the last year. So you can see the majority are staff. Faculty are at 19%, 18% administrators, students 6%, 2%. So here, we have roughly about the same number of student percentage-wise. It's a little more faculty this year, and then community members, more community members this year, and so forth. So this just gives you a sense of who's in the audience, at least those who have the Poll Everywhere technology. Okay. All right. So this is what I wanted to discuss with this, and this is the thing that the students are very concerned about. Is front and center is the commitment of the campus for diversity and inclusion. And this, again, showcases the fact that we do want to show respect and dignity for all human beings, regardless of their ethnic origin, religious affiliation, gender orientation, socioeconomic classes, disability, and so on. So for that reason, and that's exactly... Yes? So, students? So, students, this is exactly what we're going to talk about. Are you ready? Thanks for doing a commercial for what we're going to now talk about, all right? So that was a great commercial, and I appreciate what your sentiments are. So can I please talk about what is the university's position? So, students? So are you going to allow students? All right. Can I please continue on the topic at hand? Thank you. Can you please let me continue? All right. Thank you. All right. So here's what is going on as far as the Charlottesville incident is concerned. So many presidents across the nation began showing awareness and response publicly by sending letters and messages and other kinds of activities on their own campus. What happened at Charlottesville is a horrifying tragedy, and it is something we do not want to happen on our campus or elsewhere around the country. So what are we going to do? Thank you, but can you please allow me to speak first? I would like to be able to speak clearly. So, number one is, here's the thing, you guys, we are on the same page. In fact, that is a phrase, I think I mentioned to the group of you this morning, that we are going to try and use. As Stan State, no hate, what did we were saying? Hate, no hate at Stan State. Exactly. So that's exactly the phrase that we'd like to use, something like that. So that is number 7 down here, this new campus messaging task force. And this has already been suggested as one thing. When I was at the ASI and USU retreat, the students were coming up with different slogans that we can use so that other people who come to our campus or who want to look us up will see that we have clear student presence. And all of you are absolutely invited to be part of this task force and help craft not just the message, but the logo and banners and other activities to show that we have a very deep, unabiding commitment to diversity and inclusion. And that commitment is so strong that we already have a statement on diversity and inclusion that's already been signed and approved by the Faculty Senate and by my office, and that's a long-standing one. This original document actually pre-existed back in the early 2000s. So this is something that we have as a core belief. And then secondarily, that we also have a priority for student safety on our campus. So can I ask, I'm asking you to be civil. We are having a civil conversation, and by interrupting in a way that is not helpful to be able to carry on this dialogue. So can I please ask you, we can discuss those issues if you let me talk first, all right? I need to set the background and the context first. So, So what we have here is the establishment, but when I first arrived on campus, I worked with the Senate to establish a new Presidential Commission on Diversity and Inclusion, PCDI, which is a brand new commission. It's never existed on the campus before. They are charged with developing an institutional-wide diversity plan that addresses at least 4 areas of university functioning, everything from diversity of our student body, of our employees. The curriculum, is the curriculum diverse? Are you getting access to courses that deepen your understanding by the time you graduate? The third is in the area of our, campus climate. Is the campus climate one that is welcoming? And the fourth one has to do with looking at our external partners. Are we engaging with the community, all the members of the community who are on our advisory boards? Are the advisory boards diverse by gender, orientation, political, et cetera, et cetera? So is there diversity there? So they're going to be developing the institutional plan. We've allocated, to start with, $50,000. University of Maryland, for example, has gone on record as allocating $100,000 for diversity efforts. And they're a much bigger institution, but we can start with 50 and see where we go from there. That we also have created 2 rapid response teams, the behavioral intervention team and the executive, I forget what the S stands, executive, Naisha, what is it? Where's Naisha? It's an executive strategic assessment response committee is what ESARC is. And then we have Stan Cares reporting online. So I ask all of you, including the students, if you are see anything, then say something to us so we can begin continue our investigations and so forth. And we'll be annually reporting Clery and other important situations to the campus. And for the first time on this campus, we are creating identified, and thanks to our CFO, identified space in the library to form for the first time an intercultural center that will be shared for all of the student affinity groups, of different affinity groups in terms of ethnicity, gender orientation, even a dream center. So that is, hopefully they're doing remodeling right now, and it should be open in the next, probably, depending on the construction, about 2 months or so. And then again, this messaging task force that's very important. Now, the issue that the students here are protesting has to do with the fact that we have, there are other people, not just students on our campus, but elsewhere, who are concerned about the fact that there is a presence of a student who is engaged in some of these activities, which were, so let me finish. And so the thing is that in America, we have privacy rights. Individuals have privacy rights. So by the same token, I can't go and talk about individual students to the public or to the press. You wouldn't want me discussing your personal lives or private information. The same is true for all students, regardless of what they're doing. But as long as they're not engaged in an activity that has been determined by the law, by criminal conviction or those kinds of things, we must abide by the law. And so as the university president, I take it very seriously that we do have to follow the law of the land. And then, of course, there are multiple attorneys and others that are consulting with us to provide me with information and context in which to be able to make a rational decision based on the circumstances and the evidence. So the sad part is you want to know what's going on, and unfortunately, for privacy reasons, I cannot tell you. But I can let you know that there are multiple things that we are continuing to monitor, and that as soon as information comes to light that shows there is an imminent threat or there's a line that's been crossed, then I, as president, will take swift and immediate action. And that, I can assure you, will continue to be the case, as it has always been the case. And so I want you to join with me in helping to ensure that we will continue that level of belief in inclusion and not in the spirit of hate or violence. Those are absolutely abhorrent, and we at Stan State do not conform or believe in any of those things. And so we want to continue to show our strength, but also respecting that we have an American system of justice that we need to understand and use that complexity to help us through this situation. But I completely am grateful that you are concerned, and that's not a problem with me. And so my door is always open. I'm always willing to talk to students or others. And we, as I said, we have this rapid response 2 teams that are here, that have already been deployed, that are already working on the scene. So again, there's a role for you guys to join with the campus in making sure that it's a safe campus, and it is one that accepts all humanity, regardless of whether a person's ethnicity or social class or any of those things should all be treated with equal dignity and respect. So as I said, I can't tell you the personal details about any given student. That is a violation of FERPA, and that would constitute a violation against the university and perhaps to any individual who discloses that personal information. It's also one of the laws of the land. So I know that's not what's satisfying or comfortable to hear, because you want that information, but unfortunately that is something I cannot disclose. But I can tell you with 100% that we are actively continuing to monitor and follow the laws of the land in order to make assessments and take action steps when the action steps are evidentially supported. Okay? I know that's not going to make you feel good, but that's what I can tell you for now. That is the complexity of law, justice, and all of the major principles that are set out by our great American democracy. Again, I'm sorry that I can't give you more information at this time. Okay, so if I can, I know this is not going to help you, but I want to let you know that I want to continue with the rest of the presentation, which talks about the wonderful things that our campus is doing in spite of all the other challenges that we continue to face, not just as a campus, but as a nation. All right, so in honor of supporting diversity, we did a Day of Remembrance. This is DOR, stands for Day of Remembrance. It commemorated the 75th anniversary of Executive Order 9066. And this was the unfortunate and very tragic, heartbreaking incarceration of Americans of Japanese descent back in 1942. And so what's so amazing, in my mind, so amazing is I grew up in the Midwest, and the only people that were incarcerated were in California and in certain parts, I think, of Oregon. And Americans of Japanese descent elsewhere around the country were not put into camps. It was a decision that was made at the federal level. And so it shocked me. I will tell you, I grew up in the Midwest, and I never knew that American Japanese were put into camps until I moved to California. It was never taught in my K through 6 school. And so it shocked me to come to this state and learn that, and not just learn that, but we have 2 presidents in the CSUs whose parents were put into camps before they were born. And one of them is Dr. Leroy Morishita, he's president at East Bay, and the other one is Dr. Judy Sakaki, who's the president at Sonoma State. So this was an event to commemorate and never repeat this kind of tragedy that happened in American history. And then, so we had Taiko student drummers from the Belico schools also, and then additional speakers, Sherman Kishi, who was actually interned himself, and then Sam Mergaldo, he's an alumnus and a history community college professor, right here, David Seymour, and Sam Mergaldo, who's also a faculty member on our campus. So it's a very important event. Similarly, I think one of the greatest lessons we can learn are from leaders who practice nonviolence and social action. And such people are Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, and then of course Martin Luther King. They have put giant legacy into the political sphere and into society, and thinking about how can we stand up for human rights, but in a nonviolent, peaceful way that is profound and enduring. So we created, our art students, Dr. Dean DeCoker and his students in the art department actually designed, built, and installed this beautiful peace pole. It's right out on the quad. You can see it between the library and the dining commons, and it's right here. And on it are 16 sides, and on each side are 16 languages. There was a committee that got together and said, what are the main languages, other languages of our students and of our community here? And so they came up with 16 different languages, and it says, may peace prevail on earth. And this is Dr. Arun Gandhi. He came to us. He's the grandson of Mahatma Gandhi, and he gave a lecture and talked about his latest book as well. So these were all students who came to the dedication and spoke in their native tongue, may peace prevail on earth, in the 16 languages that are on there. So this is something that I hope will stand as a beacon of peace and a tribute to nonviolence. So quickly, recapping some of the accomplishments. We had a very exciting first year. I'm just going to put up a couple slides on the budget. We're not going to spend a lot of detail because the great news, our new CFO, Daryl Hayden, is going to be hosting at least 1 or 2 campus budget open town halls so people can find out more, in conjunction with our already existing University Budget Advisory Committee. And similarly, the provost is going to be enacting more transparent ways of sharing the budget for the campus. We'll talk about hiring faculty, student graduation success, a strategic plan update, some of the awards that we're receiving nationally, advancement fundraising accomplishments, some new developments in classrooms, and some future initiatives. So that's a lot of things to cover. But it's been an amazing year, and I want to say one of the most momentous, of course, for a president is getting inaugurated. So my inauguration was on March 30th with the Board of Trustees and Chancellor Tim White. This is Chancellor White right here. And at this inauguration, we were very fortunate to have 2 keynote speakers, the Betty Yee, who is our state controller for the state of California, and she signs all of your paychecks, so you know what her signature looks like. You get one every month if you're an employee here on campus, so she delivered a great talk. And then Dr. Juan Felipe Herrera, he was the poet laureate for the United States, was appointed by the president in 2015 through 2016. He lives locally in Fresno. So I'm not going to go through all of these. So some of you might find yourself in one of these pictures. There's so much that we did in the last year that was not possible to put it all on one slide. But just to give you a quick example, here I was, for the first time the president was involved in the Turlock 4th of July parade. No president had asked to be part of that parade. So here I am with Mary Gary Soyseth. Similarly, I was asked to ride in a beautiful 1957 vehicle in the American Graffiti Parade in Modesto, so that was a fun treat. Here's the Modesto Rotary. We the presidents and students and others on campus go to lobby in the federal Capitol Hill Day in Washington, D.C., and here we are, all the presidents standing in the assembly, the state assembly in Sacramento. So this is a wonderful picture. You'll see a little bit about this momentarily, but these are some primary key CFA leaders. Many thanks to Stephen Filling, and then, let's see, I think, where is she? Is she here? Stephen, I'm blanking on her name. Ann Strom, Ann. So Ann Strom, these two leaders were instrumental in doing the first thing that no other CSU has done, and that is the CFA, the California Faculty Association, donated $25,000 to an endowment to create an endowment to fund food insecurity. So we know that on our campus there are students who go hungry. They're not sure they have 3 meals a day. And so working with ASI, with the Hunger Network, and with the Masters in Social Work students, well, we created a fund, and now ASI actually has a space where students can go to the pantry and receive goods. They can pick out goods and leave quietly without being noticed to be able to address food insecurity and housing issues as well. So at Stockton Center, this is our WASC, our Future's So Bright, we have to wear shades team, because we're preparing for a WASC reaccreditation, reaffirmation process. It was a campus-wide forum. This is the staff picnic, which was fantastic in the summer. It was hot, but it was good. Here we are working at a fundraiser at Dr. Ensley's house for the fire department and the police department. And here we are in Hillmar celebrating their 100th year anniversary. So we're trying to do a lot, getting out into the community and getting connected with all of our members here. Probably the best, most joyful thing that a president or faculty can do is celebrate when students graduate. So here's some photos of the students at commencement. You can see all the streamers here. But before they come to commencement, they have to come in as freshmen. So we started for the first time in many years a freshman convocation. And so students gathered, and here, this was taken this morning at 11:30. And look, my team got the picture in today, right now, an hour or two later. So the students are forming they would be the class of 2021 if they graduate in 4 years. We're not saying that everybody has to graduate in 4 years, but if they want to, then this, we're going to try and help them, make sure we have enough classes, et cetera. Here we are, the cabinet and I greeted the students on move-in day, and we're giving them little teeny cacti plants that said, "Time to grow, welcome to Stan State." So we're working with our students very directly. This is, as I said, a brief budget update. I just want to give you a quick, and all of these slides and everything, you can find it online on the President's site. But this gives you a sense of what we're up against, because this entire CSU is governed by the legislature and the governor. And so they make determinations about how much funding comes to the CSU, over 470,000 students, 23 campuses in total. And so the trustees asked for $343 million, and they only received, you can see, a shortfall. And so because that we never received the full amount, this is in part why the trustees made a very terrible, difficult decision to increase tuition. And tuition was increased by $270 a year. So we are, as a state, still the second lowest tuition, I believe, second or third lowest tuition in the entire United States for a public 4-year institution. But the tuition increase is the first time it went up since, I think, 2011. And then, as a system, we're still short $42 million. So what does this mean for Stan State? So we're one of 23 campuses. We're not the largest. We're one of a smaller campus. And so this shows you that really we only got a small increase in terms of new growth. And some of this money was designated by the Board of Trustees for improving student success. And the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor talked about we need to focus on supporting student success by hiring more tenured and tenure-track faculty, which we have done. And this is a new one that I've added, is to try and address staff compensation equity issues as well as faculty compensation. I'll explain that in a minute. And then to improve student support services. So you heard, for example, that we are going to increase the Career Development Center. We have increased counseling. We are increasing more advising. So we're using some of this $2.7 million for those purposes. Okay. All right, so just in a brief snapshot, for those of you who are staff, here's the interesting thing, is that the CSU, we're very, very tied to the statewide budget ups and downs, right? So there was a period of time, starting maybe as early as 2004, when the housing bubble started to burst. And then in 2008, the whole real estate market went belly up nationwide. And this affected the CSU and the state of California's budget so drastically that everybody in the CSU, for one thing, there were hiring freezes throughout the system. Then if you remember, do you remember the furlough years? Do you remember the furlough years? Do you remember what happened to your paycheck? Your paycheck went down by 10%, right? Everybody took a 10% pay cut, and then we had to not come into work 10% of the time. It was a very complicated time, so that we had furloughs. And then that meant for 7 years, when nobody who worked for the CSU had any raises. So if you were here during that 7-year time, new people coming in would get a salary that was commensurate with the current HR analysis. So that meant there was something called compressions or inversions. So people who have been on campus between, let's say, 10 and 20 years, or 10 and 15 years and 15 to 20 years, were actually getting paid less than the people coming in new, right? Because you were frozen for 7 years. So as president, I wanted to understand how did that affect our campus. So I undertook a study. It took almost a year to get the study completed. But what we are trying to do is I have asked the CFO, and he has done so. Thank you, Daryl. Find me the money, Daryl is what we call him. And so Daryl has I said, please set aside about $500,000 in new base funding so that we can address inequities, inversions, and compressions that were an unfair artifact of having been held, hostage to a same salary for 7 years. You had no chance of improving. So this new process will then be finalized in the next 3 or 4 weeks. And so it doesn't mean, however, that every staff member, we only have 414 staff on the whole campus, doesn't mean that everyone is going to get a raise. Only those individuals who had that compression inversion, you will be getting a raise to raise you to these CO specified salary ranges. If you were here 5 to 10, and we want to raise you at least to 25%. If you're here for 10 to 15, at least 50%, and so on and so forth. So the analysis is quite complicated because every individual is being tracked through this system, and that will be coming forward, and you'll be getting more information about that in the next 3 or 4 weeks. It takes a little while. Faculty equity is also important, so I want to be sure that our faculty are also not suffering from this kind of inversion compression. So Dr. Jake Myers, is Jake, raise your hand right here, has already been charged. He just took office in January, and that's one of his items. He's actively working on doing the analysis in a slightly different way because faculty salaries are a little bit more complicated. And so that analysis is continuing, and we're going to address those inequities in the coming year as well, next year. Okay. Oh, by the way, I can also say if you are staff and you don't get a raise and you still think you have an equity issue, you can absolutely still file for an IRP process and will be evaluated again. All right. As I said, that $2.77 million, the Chancellor's office did say, should be targeted for student success. Well, how do you help students? Is you give them more professors. So we are authorizing the search for additional new professors as well as replacing professors who retire. So here's a welcome to 18 of our new faculty, but bear in mind that some of these are coaches, and here's a counselor. I think this is Lori, brand new counselor. So we have increased. I have one search for a counselor going on now, and Lori just joined on as counselor. So we're raising it to like a little over 7.4, 7.7% or new counselors total. So that puts us finally in the middle of the range for nationally recognized norms for the percentage of counselors to students on campus. So we want to make sure that our students have access to good counseling. Coaches and counselors and librarians also fit in this category. But are any of our new faculty here? Can you please raise your hands? Yay! Big round of applause. If you were here on the Friday faculty meeting and heard about their credentials and their areas of expertise, it was awe-inspiring because we have some of the most highly acclaimed, highly trained, wonderful faculty that are joining us and that are going to be working with our students. So it's very exciting to see that. All right, so this is just a sense of how many faculty do we have on our campus. We have almost 10,000 students. I think we're going to hit 10,000 this year. But we have 185, a total of 279 tenured and tenure track. These are fully PhD qualified. And then we have an additional 315 lectures, some of whom have the PhD as well, and a total of 630. So outstanding faculty. So I said last year, and it's still true, that part of the reason our students are so successful is we have great faculty who care about student learning and who really do make time and give them support and rigorous courses so that they really learn and do well. So we have actually in the system a very high tenure density rate at about 62%. That puts us in the top 5 CSUs in our tenure density. So we're in good shape. So that's really exciting to see. Now, then, as I said, our students are graduating with very strong success. And so compared to most other campuses, we are doing better than most. And here's the 3 areas where we have actually met or exceeded the targets that the Chancellor's office gives us. So the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor used to give campuses and presidents 2 goals, and the 2 goals were the 6-year and the 2-year graduation rate. No, I'm sorry, the 6-year and I think the Pell. Or maybe it was 3. I'm forgetting now because I've been in the system 31 years and it changes every year. So, but now we have 6 goals that we have to meet. So these are the goals that the Chancellor has set for our campus. And look at how close we are. So here we went from last year 15-16 to 16-17. So we jumped 5.5 points in 1 year. That's almost unheard of nationally to do it that quickly. The transfer rate went up 1.5 percentage points. And we're still, 8 percentage points off of our final goal. But notice that this goal says, when do we have to reach it? By 2025. That's 8 years. We have plenty of time. We'll probably get in there and reach those goals before, is my hope. And then this is the really exciting part, is the gap between underrepresented minority student success and then regular majority students. We have actually closed that gap. So we are the students who are underrepresented are actually graduating with a greater success, which is a remarkable thing. So we have met that target 8 years ahead of schedule. So this again shows us what a great campus this is. When we got the team together, we have this thing called a great team. It's a cross-disciplinary, cross-divisional team, and they came up with strategies and programs and interventions to help our students succeed, and this is the outcome. So hats off to everybody involved in this success rate. The strategic plan is very exciting. We're having a new strategic plan with a new cabinet in play. So we have a University Strategic Planning Council. They worked all last year, and I want to give a salute to the Speaker of the Senate, Stuart Sims. He co-chaired it with our Provost, Kimberly Greer. And this year, Kathleen will join on, Kathleen Davis as the Speaker, also to continue with the success. We're going to reveal, actually all of this has been revealed before, so we've had 2 campus forums where everybody could show up. You could also listen online, participate online, and then we'll have another focus group probably this first 2 weeks of September. The Senate will engage in more close review, and you should all know that it's right here. Just go, it's really teeny tiny. But if you go to the website, it's a click. You don't have to read it. Just click it. Or you just go to the President's website and click University Strategic Plan. And so that is, I want you to look at it. It is a very ambitious plan, but remember, it's a plan for 2025. It's 8 years. We have a lot of things we can accomplish in 8 years. And look how much we've accomplished even in less than, 12 months. So the next question is a poll everywhere. Oh, you've already answered. There you go. I was curious, how many of you have actually read or at least looked at the University Strategic Plan? It's all there in draft form. Right now as we speak, it was there last semester, and it was there even in the fall, drafts of it. But now the penultimate draft is there, and that penultimate draft will be shared at an open forum, and again, probably in this room, so you'll all be asked to come here, and Kimberly, the provost, and the chair, speaker, Kathleen, and the committee will be here to help facilitate that. And there are so many things in this plan that are exciting, ideas that came forward from the entire Strategic Planning Council. And so Kim and Kathleen will lead that with the council. So look at this. Oh my gosh. The yeses are going into the majority. That's fantastic. Oh, I was worried that maybe nobody had read it. You'd heard about it, but maybe you haven't read it. But this is something that, if you have a kind of a sleepless night and you're looking for something to read, you will find something in there that will make you excited. I promise you. No matter where you work, in which division, there's something for everyone on the campus to get excited about, to help student success, to help faculty success, to help the staff increase as well. So let's keep it at 45 or higher. So there's more people who've read it. And if you haven't, don't worry, because you have time, because we still haven't approved it yet. There's still time. You can give feedback on the internet. You can also let anyone on the council know your feedback, because we're developing. And here's the other thing, is these strategic plans are evolving historical documents. So just because we write it this year, and next year, let's say the budget goes belly up in California, then the plan will have to change because we don't have money, right? So it is an evolving thing. We will adjust it depending on the budgetary times and so forth. But the plan is there for now for you to take a look at, and we really, well, at least look at 11% said they might do so now. That's great. So we have some positivity there, so take a look. Okay, some exciting state national recognitions, and this is something you may have heard of, but if you go to the newsstand tomorrow and buy a copy of Money Magazine, turn to page 52. And page 52, it lists, of course, Money Magazine is like U.S. News Report. It does name the best universities in the nation, like U.S. News, but they have a slightly different methodology. But on page 52, they not only name the top universities, which of course are like the Princetons and the Ivy Leagues and so on, but on page 52, they have a category called value added. Do you see this? Value added. And what that means is they use a slightly different methodology to look at universities that are really good at helping students who come from underserved neighborhoods who get good jobs. On average, the Department of Labor Statistics shows that our alumni, when they are recently graduated, actually have a pretty good salary. And according to their data from the government, it says our students who graduate early in their careers will have an average salary of $44,900, which is a pretty good salary for this area, right? And so that's why that, along with a combination of other factors and the high graduation rates that we have here, put us as number one. So when you turn to page 52, the first 5 universities that are listed there are all private liberal arts colleges, small, teeny. Some of them have like 3,000 students. And we are number 6, but the first, number 1 in public universities. So I want a big hand of applause for our campus reaching number 1, Money Magazine. You should be proud, and you should be ambassadors and let other people know. Of course, we don't want to become a gigantic university, but let people know we are a high-quality institution that is really helping pave the way for student success. So these I'll let you read on your own. Social Mobility is CollegeNet, Princeton Review. We're in the best 12 years on their list. We're number 14th in the public school from the U.S. News, and NPR ranked us 5th in the nation after institutions like Harvard, MIT, UC Irvine, etc. All right, so this is a cool slide. All right, so there's a lot here you can't read, right, because it's very dense. But let me just say this has to do with, do you see this little icon here? Do you know what that says? It says success underneath a pile of money. All right, so advancement refers to our fundraising division in the university. And Michelle, where's Michelle? Michelle raised her hand. She is responsible for leading the advancement division. And this year, we have some exciting news to report, and that is to say that we have, as a campus, almost doubled the gift commitment in dollars from last year, from before last year. So we have cataloged in almost $4 million this past year, 12 months alone, in terms of the actual gift commitment of dollars. We've more than doubled the number of individual donors, 2.5 times. More people are now signing on to donate, even a small amount or a larger amount, to the campus. So now this year we have almost 3,993 individual donors. That's 2.5 times more than last year. In addition, alumni giving, look at this, 460%. 4.5 times more alumni are donating to our campus this year than last year. Isn't that amazing? I want you to give a big hand for Michelle. And that's because we are doing things differently. For example, we are using a call center where students are calling alumni. And it's more of a personal touch to have a student. I mean, some of you are alumni, so maybe you don't like getting that phone call about, gee, can you think about donating to the Warrior? But it makes a difference. This money goes for scholarships, and it doesn't go into anybody's pocket. It goes for mostly scholarships is the area that it's designated for. And then Lisa is working in McMullen in our Advancement is doing many, many new events, expanded events for alumni. So if you're an alumnus or alumni member, you should look in your mail. You're going to get lots more activities, and we want to bring the alumni back. We have 55,000 alumni. They live within in the 6-county region. 70% of them do. And then here's a major new initiative. You've heard me talk about this before, is we're creating a brand new first-generation Central Valley Presidential Scholars initiative for Central Valley students, and we have money already now for 6 students, and we want to open the program not this fall, next fall. So we hope to get more funding. We just started raising in March, and so we have plenty of time to get more fundraising to get maybe 10 or 12 students enrolled as presidential scholars for first gen. They have to be first gen. And then this is what I mentioned to you before, the work that came from CFA, and then others, the ASI, to address the food insecurity, another accomplishment. So for those of you who are students or faculty, you care about where you're working, and where you're working is in the classroom. And students, what kind of classrooms do you have? So we were able to upgrade 14 classrooms, to upgrade it for the technology, to have PowerPoint and LCD projectors and internet access. And then so here's some of the photos of some of the classrooms where these upgrades took place this summer. And then we've also built the first active learning classroom. It's technology-enabled group flipped kind of models, which show to be improving students' learning. So that's another thing. So this is just a bunch of future activities. And so I don't have time to go through all of these, but this is just a sort of a teaser, because as the spring goes on and as the university strategic plan unfolds, you will find that we will have more information and specifics about this. But as you heard from the Senate Speaker, we bought 1,500 copies of the Mindset book by Carol Dweck from Stanford, and all of the freshmen now have that as one of their readings. And the campus will undertake more ways to integrate that in discussions, and we'll invite her to be a speaker for a spring symposium. We're doing lots of innovation, so faculty have gone to Stanford to learn how to do the Design Your Life course. We're continuing to help faculty think about what could we do for a freshman seminar. We are growing Stockton in very explicit, important ways, and then learning how to provide faculty with more support in teaching and using technology. And then we have the opportunity to expand our footprint in Modesto. So our neighbor, who is also very, very important for improving educational access in the Central Valley, is there. And then we're investing in technology-enhanced advising supports, and this is also coming from the Chancellor's office funding as well. And then again, for HR, we're looking at many more professional development opportunities for staff. So, last thing. Are you excited and ready to roll up your sleeves and make Stan State an even more visible, distinctive, and outstanding campus? And wow! Let's freeze the poll here. It's okay. I would like to hear, because I asked this question last year, and we can compare what people say this year, take the temperature. It's important to get the truth. If people are disgruntled, that's fine. We need to know it, and then we can figure out how to improve from there. And so I'm just here to say that we are an amazing campus, and okay, it's moving down the pike here. So we're amazing. But like I said, when you go read that strategic plan, go find something that you are passionate about and think about how you can participate and make that happen in whatever unit, whatever office that you work in. How do you want to get engaged? How do you want to participate? What could you do to further improve the already amazing status of this campus, and to work with our great students? And then I also want to say, again, having our students here this morning, I know that they were shouting and they were passionate and they wanted to express their views, and that's fine. That is what universities are here, to help students find their voices, to give them guidance, to support them, and help them promote messages of inclusion and strengthened our civil discourse that way. So I appreciate your patience, everyone's patience, in letting them have that opportunity. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and freeze the poll, and then let's take a look at last year. You want to guess do you remember what happened last year? You want to see? All right, so notice that what's missing. Nobody said not that excited, and no one said not excited at all. What do you think happened last year? Similar or different? Look at that. Now, so last year we had at least 3% said they were not excited or not excited at all. And that was fine. As I said last year, every university has to have a few curmudgeons, right? But look, this year, we have 0 curmudgeons. So give yourself a round of applause. So here's the thing, is that I was voted in my high school senior class optimist. So this is like, you know, it resonates with my heart because I am an optimist. I am a pragmatist, a realist, but I am an optimist by nature. So this is great to see. I'm so glad that you're going to be on board and find something that you're passionate about, and we can make a difference and think innovatively to move forward. So we did this last year. If you can only choose one word, type in just one word. This will form those word clouds, you know, that you saw an example of. What is the one word that you think best describes Stan State? And then we'll compare to last year's as well. And this is good just for historical reasons, to find out who is in the room. Of course, a lot of it depends on if you logged on, right? If you weren't able to log on, you can't participate in this. By the way, if you're online, watching this live online, you can still participate. Your numbers and power responses go into are accessible if you can log on to the Poll Everywhere software. So you see it keeps shifting. As the words get bigger, that means more and more people are choosing the same word. So if you choose the same word, it gets bigger and bigger, right? And we had some really funny, odd words last year. Some of the words I didn't even know what it meant because it's millennial speak, right? So, oh, there's such nice words in here. This is so lovely. This is fabulous. Okay, we're going to have 5 more seconds and then Christina count down. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close the poll. All right. So, is the poll closed? All right. So now here, so you want to see what last year's poll was? Word cloud, are you ready? This was last year. So, but like this. This was a word I didn't know. What's fleet? That I'm told is a millennial word, meaning like cool, right? So there are a little bit of, or fleek. I'm sorry, fleek is the word, not fleet. Okay, so we will post these so you can get a sense, sort of like taking a temperature. So, in closing, I want to say, we are here to serve our students, just like the students said to me earlier. You are here because of the students. We are here for the students, and we are here to support them and help them also as they find their voices, and we can assist them in making social change. We're here to serve our community, and we are excited about the future. And so I want to say thank you, have a great semester, and help our students succeed. Find a way to do it. Get involved. Join and participate. Like I said, think about looking at the strategic plan, hearing what's going on, and finding something that you would like to do in your own offices and divisions. Be creative, innovate, and have fun. So thank you, everyone, and we'll see you again in the spring. Thank you.